everyone, my name is Dawn, and today we are going to talk about how you as a non-native English speaker can start understanding and start speaking like a native English speaker. If that's what interests you, keep on watching. If you or somebody you know is currently learning English, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss another video in the future. All right, so let's talk about how native English speakers speak. So we love to swallow our words. We love to make shortcuts. We love to suck up the words and more. Like, we just do not say it the way it looks. And I made another video just like this, and you can check it out at the link up above here. Let's talk about ways that you can start sounding like a native English speaker if that's what interests you. So let's start with number 1. Phrases that especially start with the word what. It kind of sounds all conjoined. We would not say, "What do you do?" We would say, "What you do?" And notice how like even each sound is really different too. What you do? What you do? So what do you do? What you do? And so we're not even saying the word you at all. In most cases, in this example it's not so much, but in most cases we would say ya instead of you. So yeah, what you do? And then what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And so, as you can see, we are kind of swallowing the words and we're blending everything together into this weird mix, and then we're not even enunciating. We do not enunciate anything. The next really common shortcut is when we say the word the. So, for example, I went to the park. I'm not saying I went to the park. I would say I went to the park. Can you just smell the roses? Can you just smell the roses? So I would not say, can you just smell the roses? Sure, if I wanted to say it really slow for some reason, but if I were to say it normally, as I normally would, I would say, can you just smell the roses? All right, let's talk about the next one. This would be the bossy E. So maybe you've learned about this, maybe you haven't, but a bossy E is basically the E at the end of a word. That's the bossy E. And it's usually sandwiched with another vowel. So you have a vowel, a consonant, and then an E at the end. So let me put this into an example. Think of the word 5, like the number 5. Why do we say the I like a I? 5. It sounds like the letter I. 5. Why don't we say fifth, right? We say 5. And that's because the word 5 has a bossy E at the end of the word. And so we have the I, the V, which is the consonant, and then the E at the end, the bossy E. So because that bossy E is there, it makes this I sound like I, 5. And we have plenty of words like that. These are examples with the I and E, but normally it goes for like any bossy E situation. But let's look at other I words. Line. We have I, consonant, and E, the bossy E. Line. Bike. Time. So those all have an I sound just because of the bossy E at the end. And so that's a little trick you can use. If you're trying to figure out how you're supposed to pronounce a certain word, just see if there's a bossy E at the end and if it's sandwiched between another vowel or not. Because if there's another vowel like A-E-I-O-U, then if there's a consonant and then the bossy E at the end, it's likely that the first vowel sound is going to be a really hard sound just like the word. So in these examples, again, these are just I words. All right, the next one, which is when we use her. So a lot of times, especially in like Western countries, we always kind of like refer to her, and it could be anybody. And what I mean by this is that if we're talking about do something for her, we would kind of shorten it. So for example, can you catch her? Maybe her is a rabbit, I don't know. So maybe the rabbit is running away. You say, oh, catch her, catch her. So I'm not saying catch her, I'm removing the H sound. I'm just saying catch her, go get her. So go get her. And so as you can see, we kind of remove the H and then we add the apostrophe. So whatever the word is, so catch apostrophe ER, catcher, or get her, get-er. So GET apostrophe ER. So that's what we talk about when we're doing her. Now, again, the same thing could be about, well, him. So instead of saying like catch him, you can say catch him, get him. And so that we would kind of change it to not necessarily like an apostrophe IM. A lot of times it could be like an apostrophe EM, and that could also translate to them. So catch him can be catch him, or it can be catch them. So it just depends on the context, but that is one way we always use a shortened way. So we have catch him, get him, bring her, or bring him. So if I'm talking about bringing something, so maybe my mom can say, can you bring him some oranges? Bring him. So bring apostrophe EM. So that could be him or them, but bring him some oranges. Like bring him some clothes, bring him some school supplies. So these are all bring him. Now the next one is going to be a very specific word, which is something. So native English speakers, we never really say something. Like this is something. We would never use it. We actually add a P. So it would sound more like something. Oh, I'm just up to something. And so for some reason, we just love to add a P. I'm not sure why. I do this myself, but something. So SUMP thing, something. All right. The next one is when we always replace the T for a D sound. You've probably heard this a lot. So the word city, you would never hear a native English speaker say, let's go to the city. Like it just doesn't happen. We would say, let's go to the city, 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 or letter. So I wouldn't say, I'm going to write a letter. No, I would say, I'm going to, or I'm gonna write a letter. I'm gonna write a letter. So there's a few T's in there that I just did not say. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to write a letter. That's how I would normally say it. I'm going to write a letter. Or another one could be bitter. So black coffee is bitter. 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 Black coffee is so bitter. Or is it bitter? Well, I know for me, I just cannot say the T's. It just does not come naturally to me. But if I was going to write it, of course, I would say bitter, but just the way it sounds, bitter. All right, our last one for today is actually something that I mentioned in another video, which is when we have the glottal stop. So the glottal stop is a weird sound that you are never taught at in any English class ever, but it's literally just the way we say things. So one example I used in another video was mountain, mountain, mountain. So we don't really say the T, we just say mountain. And we usually do that with a lot of T words if there's a T in the middle. However, I'm going to explain how we use it for G words. So a very popular one that people always mispronounce is singer. So when people say singer, especially non-native English speakers, they want to say singer. Singer, but we actually don't put a lot of stress on the G at all. We actually just kind of like remove it and suck the sound out. That's the glottal stop. Singer, singer, singer. So we don't actually say, like the G sound is just there just slightly, but we do not say singer. We say singer, singer. So it's kind of like saying sing and then singer. And the same goes with other very similar words like ringer. So just push the ringer, ringer, ring. Would I say ringer? No, ringer. All right, so that is all for today. I hope you learned something. If you did, please leave a comment down below. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe, and please share to a fellow language learner. And I will see you next time.